Okay, I've just seen in the chat that you guys can see me and hear me, but on my side it says it's having issues connecting to stream. So, that's why I've been taking a while, and for some reason my messages aren't sending in the chat as well, but It's fine. If you guys can see me, that's all that matters. Yeah, but thanks, Nick, for the heads up. I have been panicking for the past 10 minutes, but yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just go ahead and get started. Not sure what's the issue with my YouTube today. Okay, but let's just go ahead and quickly get into it. So, welcome to today's webinar. Today's session, we are going to be talking about our pre-market live analysis. If you guys have any requests, feel free to pop them into the chat. Okay, so as per usual, a disclaimer. Um, what's the issue with my slides now? Okay, just 1 second. Hmm. Um, okay, as per usual, a disclaimer. Um, and risk warning, trading forex and CFDs carries a high level of risk to your capital, and you should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Trading forex and CFDs may not be suitable for all investors, so please ensure that you fully understand the risks involved and seek independent advice if necessary. So I am Melanie. I'll be your speaker for today. Um, I'm an investment analyst at Rocket, who are finalists for Best FX and Equity Research in the years 2019 to 2021. We specialize in technical analysis with a focus on Fibonacci retracements, extensions, and projections. Okay, let's get started. I'm just gonna record this in case the session doesn't load for some reason, because on my side I'm having a lot of technical issues. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we have a bunch of requests in the chat, so thank you guys for popping that in. Let's go ahead and get started with DXY. Can everybody see my charts? Yes? Okay, great. Um, okay, so starting off, I'd like to start off by looking at our weekly time frame so we get an idea of the direction that prices are headed towards. So on our weekly time frame, we have prices moving in this uptrend. Now let's look at our daily time frame. Okay, you can also see prices moving in this uptrend here again. So let's maybe let's look at our 4-hour time frame as well. Okay, you can kind of see a bit of a resistance here. Not resistance, but a bit of a reversal recently. But overall still pretty bullish. Okay, let's analyze this on our daily time frame. So I'm gonna start off by adding our support and resistance levels. Okay, I'll place my first support at this double swing high. My first resistance at this, I guess, kind of pullback level. Pullback basically is a level where prices have broken out of, so you can see here, and we're expecting prices to continue moving upwards or react off that level. So I'm expecting prices to continue upwards towards our first resistance. I'll place my second resistance maybe here. Okay, hi guys. Welcome. If at any point you guys can't hear me or see my charts, please let me know in the chat. For some reason my chats aren't showing up. My messages aren't showing up in the chat, and also it's not showing up on my YouTube streaming. Yeah, so just let me know if there are any issues. Okay, so I'm starting off with a retracement. So my 23.6 lines up with my first support. So I'm gonna keep that. Okay, and then next I'm going in with a projection here. So for this projection, okay, my 161.8 lines up nicely with this first resistance here. So here we're using a, can you show a setup and explain it? Yep. So here we're looking at the XY. I've already gone through the um support and resistance levels. Now we're just using our Fibonacci levels to kind of support these horizontal levels. So for Fibonacci, if you're unfamiliar, the projection, we're kind of looking for this zigzag shape, something like a flash or like a lightning symbol. So that's what we have here, and I'm basically projecting where prices might reverse off of. Um, so this projection is a 3 point, I guess 3 point method that uses this extension tool. Okay, and then for retracement, we're just taking um this movement here. Next, I have a Nike tick here, I think. Okay, my 161 lines up nicely with my first resistance. The 127 also, we normally also use the 127, but you can see price has already broken out of this level, so it's no longer valid. So I'll just be keeping the 161. So for this method, it's a, like I mentioned, a Nike tick method. So we're looking out for this shape, uh, something like that. If it's inverted, it'll just be like that. Okay. Here I'm looking for a retracement. I don't think we have one. The 88 lines up. I can look for a level around the 78 area, just as kind of a partial profit or an intermediate resistance. Maybe over here, let me zoom in a bit, in line with this slight swing high level here. Okay, but this is just an intermediate level. 78 and 88. Um, do you trade? So what kind? Okay, I do trade. I normally look for. There are a couple that I normally just use on the regular. Mostly major pairs, some crosses like Euro Oz. Thank you, Andre. Or some indexes, but I think mainly what I look out for is a clear market structure. So something like what we have here, something that's not too choppy, where you can see a really clear overall direction. I like to trade those setups more. Um, Yeah. Okay, let's see if we have any other levels. Okay, I think that's all the levels we have. So here I have a Fibonacci confluence area. So confluence area is basically where you have two or more Fibonacci levels lining up. Here you can see I have the 161 Nike tick or Fibonacci extension, and I also have the 161 projection. Okay, so that could explain why we're seeing a bit of a reversal around this area when we took a look at the 4 hour earlier. So I'm going to pull out indicators to see if they support our analysis. Let's look at Ichimoku and MACD. So I'm expecting prices to continue moving upwards. Um, like I mentioned, there might be a bit of reversal here, but overall, I'm expecting the trend to still be pretty bullish. So on our MACD, you can see it's giving us a bullish signal. Excuse me. On our Ichimoku, prices are moving above the cloud, so that's also supporting our bullish analysis. Um, let's maybe look at Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic. Okay, I like to use EMA and SMA together as well. I also like to use parabolic saw. Okay, let's go through this slowly. So um okay, if we look at Bollinger Bands firstly, you can see prices pushing above the upper band of that of that red line. So that gives us a bullish signal, tells us prices might continue pushing upwards. So that supports our analysis, EMA and SMA. Let's take a look. Okay, prices are moving above all three of our indicators. Okay, you can see the parabolic saw below, EMA and SMA as well. Um, let's look at maybe RSI now. I think we have prices moving in this ascending trend line. So again, that supports our analysis. Stochastic, we don't really have that ascending trend line like we see here, but you can see prices are moving into that oversold region here. Okay, so overall, still pretty bullish. And it doesn't look like it's hitting this hidden resistance yet. There is this hidden resistance here, and it doesn't look like it's hitting this level just yet. So there's still some room for it to move. So yeah. Okay, so that's for DXY. Again, I'm so sorry for the delayed start. I've been having some issues with um connecting, but it seems like you guys can hear me and see me fine and see my charts as well. So that's good. I have it recorded just in case as well. Just in case it doesn't show up. So I will upload the recording after this webinar. And also I'll stay back since we started late. So I'll hang around for a while. Okay, next let's look at gold first. And then we can look at Bitcoin. Okay, let's look at gold. Okay, so on our weekly time frame, overall pretty bullish. There's been a recent reversal up here. Um, let's see if prices are still moving. Okay, there's no ascending trend line because for valid trend line you need at least 3 touches, but here, yeah, we only have 2. Yeah, but overall still pretty bullish. Now let's look at our daily time frame. Okay, starting off, I'm gonna see if we have, yeah, we have this ascending trend line here. Okay, yeah, so that supports a bullish analysis. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with our support and resistance levels again. So up here will be my first resistance, um, second resistance up here, and my first support. Mm, okay, I'm gonna place my first support here at this swing low. Yeah. Okay, actually, maybe over here. Because this is, I guess, it's kind of my stop loss. So I want to give the trade some room to kind of breathe if prices reverse. Okay, I'll label this as my second support instead. And my first support, I'll place it somewhere a bit closer. Maybe here. Mm, yep, here. Okay, I'll place it here instead. Firstly, because it's closer to where price is currently at. Secondly, because it's an overlap level. You can see a swing low here and a bunch of prices testing this level a bunch of times. Yeah, so I'll place it there. Now going in with our Fibonacci levels. Okay, my 50% lines up nicely with my second support. Um, 60. Okay, I'll keep the 78. Okay, for this projection, this is kind of the shape, that lightning bolt shape that I mentioned earlier. Oops. Next, I'm going in with a retracement here. You can see my 38.2 lines up with my first support. Let's see if we have another retracement here. Okay, my 23.6 also lines up nicely. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this huge projection here. Okay, no, not quite. Okay, I think that's all the levels we have. So I'm expecting prices to continue moving upwards. Okay, there might be, again, a bit of reversal at this first resistance because we've seen that happen pretty recently, and it's also an overlap. But we don't have any Fibonacci levels here. Actually, wait, let's check. Um, yeah, we don't have a retracement here. We don't have. Let's look at projections, maybe. Okay, we have a 78.6 projection. Um, yeah. Okay, so but also because of this overlap level and the double swing highs, so again we might see some resistance there. Overall, still pretty bullish trend in general. Now let's look at our indicators. So for Ichimoku, you can see I like to use both these indicators because at one glance you can see exactly what the signals are. So you can see MACD supports our analysis. It's giving us a bullish signal. Ichimoku, I like to just focus on the cloud. So that's why I just prefer to have the plots. Um, yeah. But of course, there are a lot of ways to use Ichimoku as well as confirmation signals or overall trend. Um, yeah, and those would be the other lines. So, yeah. But I just prefer to look at the cloud, at the general trend. So prices are moving above the cloud. So again, that supports our analysis. Let's look at Bollinger Bands, maybe. Okay, you can see prices moving above, kind of peaking above the cloud. So again, that might support, it does support our analysis. Let's look at EMA, SMA, RSI, stochastic. So these are the indicators that I like to use on my own as well. Yeah. So next, EMA, SMA, again, you can see prices moving above both of these indicators. Let's look at parabolic saw. Okay, parabolic saw, you can see prices are kind of transitioning. If I zoom in really close. Okay, this is the dotted line is our parabolic saw, and prices have recently moved above it, but it hasn't, shown us that trend, that upward trend yet. So I'm gonna KIV that. Okay, RSI, you can see prices, RSI is giving us a bullish signal, stochastic as well. Okay, stochastic, we might be seeing a reversal here, a hidden resistance, sorry, up here. Okay. If you're unfamiliar with what a hidden resistance is, basically, let me just highlight these areas first. So you can see at these two levels that I've highlighted, when price touches this hidden resistance, for example here, we see prices drop. Again, it happens here as well. Even though on our price chart it isn't a resistance level because price has made a lower high. But on our stochastic, you can see that lines up. And then we saw price drop again. So again, we're seeing price kind of moving towards that area. So we might see this happen again. Yeah, just be careful of that. But for now, you can see prices, there's still a bit of room for prices to move upwards towards that hidden resistance. Okay, so overall still bullish, just expecting a little bit of resistance here at our first resistance. So we might see a bit of reversal here and then back upwards. Okay, that's for the XY. Next, let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, all good. Okay. Okay, so on our, let's look at weekly. Um, Weekly we see this recent reversal here. Let's look at daily. Okay, daily, I'm gonna go in with a first support here and a first resistance up here. Okay, um, I'll place my second resistance up here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at this for now, and go in with my Fibonacci levels first. Mm, okay, let's see. Okay, my 38.2 lines up. Mm, okay, my 161 lines up with my first support, but we can't use it because price has already broken out of that. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a projection over here. Mm, okay, my 100% lines up nicely with my second resistance. Here I'm using that same projection that I used earlier. That lightning bolt shape like that. Again, I'm going in with a projection. The 61 lines up. Okay, I'm also going to put a um second support over here. Okay, and this is in line with the 50% and also the 100%. Okay, so we have this confluence area here. It's in line with our first support. Um, okay, I think that's all the levels that we have here. Um, okay, yeah, I think that's all the levels we have. Okay, now let's go in with our indicators. So Ichimoku MACD. Okay, so um price is currently moving within the cloud, which is kind of a transitionary signal. So yeah, suggests that prices are currently the direction that prices are currently transitioning. So I'm not gonna use Ichimoku for now because this doesn't really tell us much. EMA, SMA, you can see prices moving below the cloud. MACD, you can see is giving us a bearish signal, so that supports our analysis as well. RSI, you can see prices moving in this descending trend line. And this is a hidden trend line as well because we don't really have this trend line on the price chart. Okay, so yeah. Let's see, do we have that trend line on our stochastic as well? Or is it a resistance? Okay, it's a slight, if you look at my dotted line here, it's a very slight descending trend line. You can of course take it as a hidden resistance as well, but only until here. Okay, because the rest at the back are not applicable because at these levels, prices, even though it's kind of at the same level, um, prices didn't really drop. It dropped slightly, but ultimately still not that significant of a drop. So I won't go that far back. I'm gonna keep the descending trend line instead. So yeah, overall pretty bearish signals. So I'm expecting prices to continue to drop. But like I mentioned earlier, just be careful of this confluence area at our first support. If prices are able to break below that, that's why I've placed the second support here. Um, because I don't think that prices are going to drop to, this next support level in line with this swing high here. I don't think it'll drop that far. Um, at least within the next week. Um, but yeah, so that's why I place kind of an intermediate level here. If prices are able to break through this confluence area, um, then that's kind of downside confirmation that prices will continue um, to move downwards. But for now, I'm hesitant to go in for a sell to all the way down here. Yeah. Whereas this level, I'm supported by this 50% retracement. I also have a 100% projection that lines up. And also a bit of a swing low here. Not quite, but just a bit. Okay. And if prices continue to drop throughout the week, I would go in and look for other Fibonacci levels as well. Like my 61. If I think if it really breaks towards the 61, then maybe it'll drop to this level here that I was mentioning earlier, but only if it really breaks all the way down, um, which I'm not really expecting. Okay. Okay, let's maybe look at Bollinger Bands as well, since I've done that for the others. And I think parabolic saw as well, I didn't do. Do you look at divergences? Yeah, I do. On RSI and also on stochastic sometimes as well. It's just that these trend lines are kind of easier to spot. Um, but yeah, I do look at that. Okay, so on our Bollinger Bands, this isn't really telling us much, even though I guess it is moving. It is moving below that middle line, so it's in the bottom band of our Bollinger Band. So it is giving us a bit of a bearish signal, but not strong enough that I want to use it. So I'm gonna remove that. Parabolic saw, you can see prices are moving below that indicator, so that also supports our bearish signal, bearish analysis. Okay, so that's for Bitcoin. I think, yeah, next there was a request for silver. So we'll look at silver as well. And then, yeah. Okay, all good. Let's look at silver now. Mm, silver futures or this one or this one. Nah. I feel like you're talking about this one, so let's look at this one. But yeah, let me know if this is not what you're thinking about. Um, okay, never mind. We'll just go ahead and quickly look at this. Because we also have another request for XRP. Okay, so on our weekly time frame, pretty, I guess price is kind of fluctuating. Um, no trend lines or trend channels. Okay, yeah, I think he left as well. Yeah, let's look at XRP instead. Okay, so on our weekly time frame, you can see it overall pretty bullish. Um, although there's a recent reversal on our daily time frame. Do you guys prefer me to go through this daily or 4 hours? Okay, let's see which is clearer. So on our daily time frame, let's see, I think, yeah, we kind of have an ascending trend line here. Okay, overall looks like prices are moving upwards as well. I'll just maybe okay, let's look at a 4 hour time frame as well. Okay, I'm gonna do the analysis on the 4 hour time frame. Um, I'll just maybe go through. I'll plot a few support and resistance levels here in case that's what you want. And then I'll do the in-depth on the 4 hour because it's a bit clearer on that time frame. Okay, I'll place my first support here because it's very close to where prices currently are at. So that would kind of be our our entry. Um, and for my second support, or I guess stop loss, you want to make sure that you have room for it to breathe. So I'm giving it sufficient room here. Okay, so let's look at 4 hours. So this will be my first support. As usual, I'm pulling it back as far as I can. You can see this support level is pretty significant. My first resistance will be, okay, this will be an intermediate resistance. Um, and then this is my first resistance up here. And then for my second support, I would place it somewhere here. So again, with these intermediate levels that I like to add, it's entirely up to you whether you want that or not. It's more, I'm just identifying the levels, especially if it's a big jump from where my first support is at or where I've identified my entry, to where my first resistance or my take profit is at. So yeah, that could be your partial profit or it could be kind of your upside confirmation, if you want to wait for prices to break out before you go in for a buy. That's yeah, it's up to you. And then I'm going in with a projection here. 78 and 100 both line up. Oh, we might have a Nike tick here. Yeah, my 161, 127, they both line up with my intermediate and first resistance. So again, if you can't see the Nike tick shape here, it's just like that. As long as the second move exceeds 100% of that original first move, this method would work. And then for the projection, this is the lightning bolt shape. Okay. Okay, my 38.2 lines up. Well, it's pretty close to my first support, so I'm gonna keep that. and my 61 as well. So I'll keep both. Mm, okay, I think maybe we might have a retracement here. 78 lines up with my first resistance. Let's see, maybe a projection here as well. Yep, 78 lines up with the intermediate as well. I'll also maybe keep the 100, even though it's a bit. Nah, okay, I'll just keep the 78 because the 100 is a bit far from the first resistance. Um, so yeah, even though we always say your Fibonacci levels don't have to line up exactly, as long as it's kind of close, that's fine. But if it's a bit too far, you don't really want to use it either. Um, okay, yeah, I think that's all the levels we have. So that's why it's a bit more useful to look at charts on a clearer, when there's a clearer market structure. So you can do that by changing between the time frames, because you can find a lot more Fibonacci levels to support your analysis. Um, yeah. Okay, let's look at our indicators. So Ichimoku, I think prices are moving above the cloud, so it's supporting our bullish analysis. Um, MACD, you can see, also supports our bullish analysis. RSI, stochastic, EMA, SMA are Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands first recently moved above the upper band, so that is a bullish signal, but then it reversed shortly. So I'm gonna KIV that for now. EMA, SMA, you can see prices still moving above it, and it has been moving above for quite a while. So that is also a bullish signal. Parabolic SAR as well, also moving in this uptrend. Now RSI, stochastic, you can see prices moving in this ascending trend line. RSI, I don't think we have a trend line. Yeah, we don't have a trend line, but you can definitely see prices are moving upwards. It's not a trend line per se, but it's moving in this upward direction. Okay. And yeah, that's XRP. A lot of confluence areas here, right? So especially over here. So just be aware of this area. But overall, it looks like there might be enough upward confirmation. Okay, we'll almost definitely see a bit of reversal here. Okay. But it seems like there's enough bullish confirmation to push it above this level towards our first resistance. Okay. Okay, that's for XRP. Okay, it's 6, but since we started a bit late, because of the technical issues I had, I'll stay a bit. So if you guys have any other requests, just pop them in the chat. It's so weird. On my YouTube, it's not It's still not showing. It's still asking me to connect. Like it still says I'm not live. That's so weird. Okay, let's look at Oz Yen. Okay, now on our weekly time frame, it's pretty bearish. Okay, you have prices moving in this descending trend line. Now let's look at our daily time frame. Okay, again, I think yeah, we have this descending trend line again. And overall, we like to follow the general trend, unless there's very obvious reasons why you think that that the trend might be changing. So here I'm going in for now, I'm going in for a bearish analysis. So my first support I'll place over here. And then for my second support here. Second resistance maybe just up here. Okay, so going in with my retracement first, 61 lines up with my second resistance. I'm going in with a projection, 78 lines up nicely. Retracement wise, over here, my 50% 50% lines up with my first resistance. Oh, we have a Fibonacci extension here. Okay, my 127 lines up nicely with my second resistance. So again, this is the Nike tick method. Okay, let's go in for a retracement here. Okay, okay, no, because price has already broken out of that level. So we can't use this anymore. Okay, I think that's all the levels we have. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm expecting prices to continue dropping. So let's look at our indicators. Prices are moving below the cloud, so that supports our analysis. MACD is giving us a bullish signal, so that doesn't support. I'm going to remove that. Bollinger Bands prices are moving in uh, that lower band, but it's not really giving us a very strong signal, so I'm not gonna use that. EMA, SMA, you can see prices recently crossed below both of these indicators, so they do support our analysis. Um, Let's look at parabolic saw. Okay, parabolic saw isn't supporting our analysis. Prices are still moving slightly above it. So I'm gonna KIV that for now. RSI, mm, okay, RSI prices are moving in a downtrend. Not prices, the indicator is showing us a downtrend. I'm just trying to see if we have any divergences um that I can talk about. Mm, okay, not really. Not for this chart at least. So again, stochastic also we have this downtrend. Okay, so again they both support our analysis. Okay, so I'm expecting prices to continue to drop. But because this area here, this first support, is a pretty significant level, so again you might see a bit of resistance there. But I think that's enough downward um confirmation to push it past this area towards our second support. Also because there aren't any Fibonacci levels that we could find that line up with this area. Okay, let's check. I think let's check this retracement. Um okay, I can keep this 78. Okay, so yeah, I can keep this 78. It's quite close. Yeah, close enough. So we do have one Fibonacci level that lines up. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys found the session helpful. Uh, yeah, again, apologies for the late start. But I think we managed to go through all of your requests. And yeah, I will see you guys again in 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, take care. See you guys soon. Bye.